All right, we back. Motor City Sports Talk. We in the building. Appreciate everybody for checking in one time for the one time businesses. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button if you haven't hit it already. And should the Detroit Pistons move on for Luke Kennard, is it time to give up now? They could have traded Luke Kennard and could have landed Mike Conley last season at the trade deadline. I believe the Memphis Grizzlies wanted Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard, and also they wanted a first-round draft pick. The deal fell apart because the Pistons did not want to include Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard definitely has a lot of potential, but it's just something that it's what he's lacking is you can't teach, and that's dog and that's aggressiveness. You know, if he's not going to be aggressive, he's not going to stay healthy, and I feel that the health factor last year, I think it was some lower body extremity injury. He can get over that. You know what I'm saying? I think he learned enough to get over that. And I think it may be some type of hesitancy, to get rid of Luke Kennard, because maybe even though they didn't draft Luke Kennard over Devon Mitchell, maybe it's like we don't want to give up on him, you know, and show that the organization made a mistake, even though that wasn't on Stefanowski and Malik Rose watch. But, you know, you spent a high pick on this dude. You don't want to give up on him. And I think you see the ability. You know, I thought the Pistons should have traded him, moved him to point guard and handled the ball a little bit more for the sake of Blake Griffin not handling the ball. Blake Griffin is not a natural ball handler. He's trying to grow into that role. But he needs somebody that can, you know, take the onus of him. You know, Reggie Jackson, just like you really don't trust him. You know what I'm saying? Like, either he want to go shoot a bunch of shots or, you know, he not engaged in the game if he really ain't the primary ball handler. But at least with Luke Kennard, if he ain't handling the ball, he could spot up and shoot the ball. And then he also has a nice rhythmic motion to his game where he knows how to, you know, find those soft spots in the defense, and he knows how to struggle for mid range. He can get to the cup. He can do everything offensively. Really, he can slash without the ball. He can. You know, I think he needs to focus, or Dwayne Casey needs to put him in positions where he can, you know, he can do the Rip Hamilton mid range game a lot more. I don't feel that he's utilized the way he should be. And will he be utilizing Dwayne Casey offense more next season? You know, I don't know. And if they make it a point to run more plays for him, coming off screens, coming off curls, you know, off ball screens, you know, let him be in the pick and roll a little bit more with Andre Drummond. I think it is the coaching problem where Dwayne Casey needs to let him handle the ball more and make more decisions. You know, Blake Griffin, he ain't the greatest decision maker with the ball. We damn sure know Reggie Jackson ain't. And I think the Pistons may have a playmaker with the ball in him on a team, but he lacks the confidence. He lacks the aggressiveness. You know, he lacks the opportunities most often. You know, because he's the most efficient scorer and shooter on the team. He's shown the ability to kill it from the mid range, to extend out the 3-point land and get to the rim. You know, he can turn up and be hot any given moment. You know, but at the same time, you know, will he get those opportunities? If Dwayne Casey ain't willing to showcase his ability and showcase his skill set, then what good is he to the Detroit Pistons? If Dwayne Casey, you know, is not going to let him handle the ball and do more, it can't just be Blake Griffin 85-90% of the time handling the ball and Reggie Jackson the rest. Or Ish if he come into the game. Like, it's at some point in time, I think they should try Luke Kennard at the point, or just the primary ball handler for meantime. People say he don't have the ball handling ability. You always get better with the dribbling. But if the right deal come across, of course, anybody can go in the Pistons. It's the right deal, but you really don't want to, you know, give up premier shooting, you know, because he's a premier shooter for the Pistons. You don't want to get that up and then don't have no replacement. It sound better if you add a Kevin Porter Jr. or Romeo Langford, or you add, you know, the Alexander kid out of Virginia Tech, you know, or you add one of those guys to play with him, you know. But I think it could be premature they giving up on him, but we ain't had no luck with Duke players other than Grant. I mean, Kyle Singler was trash, but I like to be patient, and I say no, they need to give this kid another chance. He might go somewhere and light it up. You know, he got the ability. He definitely got the ability, I think, to be, you know, a really good player in this league. You know, I think he may even have a ceiling of all-star. The way he shoots the ball is effortlessly. The way he scores effortlessly. He got the little game, the little floater game. Just need to call his number more. Need to be more involved in the game. They need to find a way to really get him motivated. And if they don't get him motivated and they don't get him aggressive involved in the game, man, at the end of the day, he's gonna get lost in the shuffle. And then again, you got to evaluate his health. But if I would move Mike, Luke Kennard, Reggie Jackson, and the first for Mike Conley, hell no. Then this year you won't even have a draft pick. You wouldn't have a draft pick. Then you lose a shooter. Then you bring Mike Conley on a $35 million a year. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, he's a good player, but then who else gonna shoot that rock for you? So if they were to move Luke Kennard, they gotta be able to set up to get them a Kevin Porter Jr. They gotta get a shooter in return or find a guard. So it's just they don't have the luxury of giving up on Luke Kennard right now. It's just not a luxury. They lack depth, and you can't trade 2 for 1. You can't trade both of your potential star guards and Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard for Mike Conley. Then who plays the 2? Bruce Brown, not ready. Kyrie Thomas, obviously not getting no burn. He not ready. So at the end of the day, the more you look at it, it makes no sense. Unless you're getting somebody in return that you know is going to do their thing, man. But that Mike Conley trade wasn't it. Real talk. That Mike Conley trade was not it for the Pistons. And that's just real talk. It was not it, but we'll see what happens. I don't think it's time to give up on Luke Kennard. I know he only had 2 seasons. Second season was injury riddled. Imagine you shipping him off somewhere to LA, Sacramento, New York, and he blow up. But I will say this: if they don't give him opportunities, or if he don't be more aggressive, that's on Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey has to find a way to get this run plays for these kids. And so much time in the NBA, it's no more about running sets. That's why Golden State Warriors are one of the better teams. It's not LeBron just pounding the ball, or James Harden pounding the ball, or Westbrook or Paul George pounding the ball on the ground and going 105 and then trying to kick it out and make a play, or trying to get a crazy shot at the rim. Golden State executes the game plan. They run backdoor cuts. They run the Princess style offense a little bit at the top of the key. They run the off-ball screens for Steph and Clay. That's why they're so tough. They call plays and they execute the plays to precision, with great precision. And the Pistons need to get back to X's and O's and executing plays. It ain't no reason Luke Kennard on this team this past year shouldn't have had 20 shot attempts a night. There's no way that he shouldn't have been coming off of Rip Hamilton, Reggie Miller type screens or curls and killing the mid-range game. There's no reason why it wasn't more Don Maker and Luke Kennard and Andre Drummond in the 2-man game in the pick and roll. It ain't no reason why Luke and Blake wasn't involved in the 2-man game and Luke, driving and making the decision to dish it off to Blake or hit the floater. It's coaching. A lot of it was his injury, and the majority of it was coaching. Get this guy engaged. He should be getting 20 shots more than anybody on the team other than Blake Griffin. He can score the ball. He can tickle the twine. He's your best threat. He should be averaging 20 points a night, especially when he's healthy. It should be bar none. But the Detroit Pistons don't have the luxury of giving away Luke Kennard. You need to put him with a Porter. You need to trade Reggie Jackson, bring somebody else in with Reggie Jackson, and try to redo it. And if I'm trading Reggie Jackson, I'm trying to get multiple players here in a deal. Even if I can get off John Lord contract or whatever, I'm trying to get multiple players here. Unless I can get one big fish. And that's just my personal opinion on it. But, they need to call more plays for Luke Kennard, and that's just plain and simple. And if they choose not to call more plays for Luke Kennard, not to give him more aggression, it's going to be another pick that busts. So this is on Dwayne Casey. The kid got the talent, and it's on his durability. But this is on Dwayne Casey, in my opinion, to get him more aggressive. I appreciate everybody for checking in. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out to the email if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, or video request. Don't forget, keep sharing the videos, man. Blessings to the brothers and sisters out there. Love and support, man. Let me know what you guys think about the video. I got one more video queued up for today. If you got any requests, you can always reach out to me on social media. Quickest way is Twitter and the email. Email's the quickest. We gone.